We gotta air it out. Let's air it out. So we gotta air it out. Let's air it out. So
how you say that? Air it out. Air it out.
Air it out.
What's going on, guys? We're back with the Air It Out podcast. If you didn't know, now you know. This is the Air It Out podcast. I'm your humble host, Jerome Jones. I got a full list of guys all up in here. All these crazy fools all up in here. I'm gonna start up this guy down here. We got the coach, the one and only, Big Trust, Mr. Coach, Darren Braxton. How you doing, Darren?
I'm good. You know what I mean? Game tomorrow. Let's go. Time to get that 3-1 start. Let's go. Let's get it.
We got my man right over here. We got the one and only Mr. Atlanta Falcons enthusiastic fan, Super Bowl. He got the Super Bowl shirt on, Mr. AKA, oh my God, Mr. Avery Collins. How you doing, sir?
It's a year. I know we lost the Super Bowl. I know we lost every Super Bowl we've been a part of, but whatever. Matt Ryan for president, so we're gonna rock it out.
And we got my man right down here. We got Mr. Darius, aka New England lover, aka is it Tom Brady or is it Belichick, aka Mr. Stidham season. We got Darius. What's going on, man?
Listen, man. All I'm saying is I'm gonna keep saying this to the season start. The Belichick revenge tour has begun. Just brace yourselves. That's all I'm gonna say. Just brace yourselves.
My goodness.
So
we coming in. We got our first chat room in here. We got Mr. Chris Thomas. So what's up, Chris? We miss you, man. Hopefully you can come on an episode very soon. But he says a very special YouTube commenter, Chris Thomas. Yes. So just like Mr. Chris down here, if you are watching on YouTube, if you are watching on Facebook, or if you are watching on Twitter, please leave your comments in here. We are a very interactive podcast, so we love to hear your comments and things like that as we're talking. And we love to, involve y'all into the conversation. So join the conversation. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe, like, share it, all that weird YouTube stuff. Do that right now. Do all that because we see you. We're watching you. If you're not liking, we're gonna turn this off right now. So make sure you subscribe and like. But anyway, guys, before we start, I'm super excited because every Thursday, late night Thursday, going into Friday, I always get excited because I'm a huge Marvel fan, and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is coming on tonight, so I'm super excited about that. We already got over the WandaVision thing. I want to know what you guys think about the new series. What's your feel about it? What's your feeling about the whole Marvel on TV kind of thing? I'll start with Avery because I think me and Avery were kind of talking about this before.
Well, I mean, so for Lent, I was fasting from TV, so I still haven't watched WandaVision or anything else. So I got to get caught up. But I'm excited. I'm excited to finally be able to get caught up. I'm excited for new series. Anything Marvel, I'm like, I'm there for it. So I can't wait to tune in. I think Anthony Mackie is just somebody that doesn't get enough credit for what he does and his skill set. You go from 8 Mile to this. I just I'm appreciative that he's starting to get more recognition. I think he still needs more, but long story short, it's Marvel. I can't wait to tune in, man.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie, very funny dude. Glad that he got his own series now on Disney Plus right now. But Darius, I want to know what you feel about the whole series. Have you got a chance to watch it yet?
Nah, man, I haven't. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't really watched a Marvel series probably since the last season of Luke Cage on Netflix. Just because I didn't get the chance to watch the WandaVision. I didn't get a chance. Listen, man, I haven't got a chance to watch it. Just like Avery, I haven't really been watching TV like that. Like I watch Snowfall. I don't know if you guys watch Snowfall, but I watch it literally the next day while I'm at work, like if I have time. but I haven't got a chance to watch it. But I've definitely heard great reviews about that and WandaVision. Like you guys said, Anthony Mackie. I mean, this guy played Clarence and Eminem and 8 Mile. Now he's playing. Now he's on Marvel. So I definitely think that it's a huge step in his career. But nah, man, I have not tuned in. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably not going to tune in. Not anytime soon. I'll probably wait until it's done because I don't like really watching shows where you gotta wait a week for it to come back on, like a week for the new episode. I kind of like to binge watch and watch it in one setting if possible. That's just me. So, but I'll take the slander. I'll take the slander.
Yes, we're kicking you out. Look, this is
Can we please?
Oh, he's gone.
Please. Oh my God.
Just like Thanos snapped, we just snapped him out of the podcast. So now we got you back, my man.
Oh my
back.
God.
Yo, Darren. First of all, I know what's going on with these two guys because what y'all waiting for the football season to start? Like this is the perfect time to watch here. Darren.
Oh, so first off, if you ain't watched none of the Marvel stuff yet, you missing out. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I got like 3 or 4 jobs, and I still make time to watch it every Friday. Y'all crazy. I can understand every you hiatus from TV. Cool, fine. This is not TV. This is the streaming service. This ain't technically TV no more. This is how we gonna do that one.
Same thing. You watching TV?
No. I don't want to hear it. Y'all missing out on greatness right now. The relationship between Bucky and Anthony Mackie is ridiculous. It's hilarious. It is just as funny to me, honestly, as the Thor movie was, and that was a very funny movie. The way that they play off of each other is impressive, and it's something that has to be watched. And since y'all ain't see WandaVision yet, just know Wanda is it.
No spoilers. But I again, like I said, we're about to go on episode 4 out of 6 on this TV series. So I'm super excited because we're about to get in the nitty gritty. The last episode was really, really good, and I don't know how you guys are not watching because there's memes out there already. So I can't even spoil it for you guys.
I see the memes. I just haven't seen the show.
Oh my God, you.
The extended cut of Zemo dancing at the club. No spoilers. No spoilers.
I'm watching that later.
You gotta kick Chris out now.
I'm watching that later.
No, can we make that a hashtag? Extend the Zemo cut.
Extend the Zemo cut. Yes.
I don't know who Zemo is just yet.
That's fine, and that's fine.
Right.
Yeah, you know fine. You don't know. You do. He was in the past movies, but it's
I know.
It's fine.
Off the top of my head, like I'm not. Okay.
Like
I said, It's been. You got to remember. It's been 40 days. No TV.
Civil War.
No, just I've just been.
The man that started Civil War.
I know. Okay, got you. But still, I'm like I said, I'm gonna get caught up. I gotta watch that. I gotta watch the Black Messiah. I gotta watch the DC, the Justice League, the 4-hour cut. I heard that was good. I got so much to catch up on. Man, y'all always dropping all this stuff when I'm fasting. I'm like, y'all just gonna do this. Wow.
Dropping heat on you,
but it's cool.
Maybe we can stay on fasting so we can get more heat. Like maybe that's the formula right here now.
Maybe.
But guys, we're super excited about the Marvel stuff, but we're even more excited because the draft is coming up, and there's a lot of draft-centric stuff that is popping up. But there was something sort of undrafted, unrelated, but it still involved the draft. And that was a big trade this week. We got the trade of Sam Darnold. He is now a Carolina Panther. So I want to hear what you guys think about this trade. So if you don't know, Sam Darnold was the starting quarterback of the New York Jets, and he got traded this Monday, I believe. And he got traded for a 4th-round pick this year, a second-round pick next year, and a 3rd-round pick next year. So, Darren, I want to know what you think about the trade, who won it, and what do you think some of the trade aspects of the draft is how it's gonna shape up for the draft?
So, I just want to let everybody know, Jerome, you were very close. It's a 6th-round pick for this year,
6,
a 2nd, and a 4th for next year. And you're good. So, due to that fact, Kansas easily won this one. Easily. It was a no-brainer for me. You gotta think about it like this: they get a guy who has all the talent and ability in the world, but was in a very, very bad situation his first 3 years, especially with the Jets and the person named Mr. Gase. Mr. Ben needed to get fired. Mr. Crappy Man. Mr. Makes Tannehill look bad. It's bad right now. But Sam Darnold, he did the best thing he possibly could. Had a little surprise party for leaving the Jets and going to the Panthers. That was what it was. That's how you know that the guy is going to a great situation where he has numerous weapons, including the wide receiver he already had in Robbie Anderson. So there's a relationship there. DJ Moore, and then you have Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. Listen, he's going to be doing good things there, and they're already talking about Teddy Bridgewater possibly moving on. So with them having that happen, 2 years to possibly get this guy into a good rhythm, and he has great coaches around him. I love the trade. Panthers won it. Jets, they just wanted to get rid of Darnold.
Yeah, it's funny how you said that Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson. I didn't even do that connection, which is crazy. So that helps. And obviously they got DJ Moore, they got Christian McCaffrey. Offensive line still needs some help. But hey, the Panthers look a lot better. Let's go with Avery. Do you think it's a lot more different between Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater? Is there not that much of a difference? I want to know what your take on that.
So, I believe there's a huge difference. The glaring one is the size and the decision to essentially to take more risks. Sam Darnold will take more risks than Teddy Bridgewater will. I think that, in some cases that works in Teddy Bridgewater's favor. It works in Teddy Bridgewater's favor because he doesn't turn the ball over a lot. But at the same time, it can also be a hindrance because of the fact that he's not willing to push the ball down the field, take some risks, and do things like that. So I think that is one of the things that those are the two kind of, like I said, glaring things that stick out to me. Obviously, he's younger, so you can, he can play longer if, possibly different things like that. But as far as who won the trade, it's too early to tell. I would say currently, I'm going to say, the Panthers, right? They do get Sam Darnold. You link him back up with Robbie Anderson. He does have Christian McCaffrey back in the backfield, DJ Moore. And like to Darren's point, he has all the tools in the world, right? He's got an arm. He's mobile enough. He's, he's accurate when he's on. He's just got to be consistent and different things like that. But I think it really depends on what the Jets do with those picks, right? If the Jets are able to, let's say, turn those picks into, let's say, Deshaun Watson, or turn those picks into Trevor Lawrence or some other quarterback that we all kind of know is going to, do pretty well. I mean, who's to say that the Jets didn't win this trade, right? Also, they get picks to bolster their roster, and that's one of the biggest issues that they had. It wasn't the quarterback situation. Obviously, the receivers are serviceable. Their defense has parts, but they need more to fill out the roster. They need an offensive line that's going to be able to protect. They need somebody else in the middle of the defensive line other than who's the D tackle?
Williams.
Thank you, Quinn Williams. They need, I think they still need a shutdown corner. When you get these pieces, you have a lot more flexibility to find out and pull some strings with those pieces if you decide just to keep the picks. Or now, because you have the cap space, the draft capital, and all those things together, you can go out, make a trade for somebody who's already established in the NFL. So I really think it really just depends on what the Jets do with the pick. But currently, I would say that the Panthers they've got, and here's the thing, they've got the potential to have won this trade because we still have to see Sam Darnold take the next step.
Definitely. And I'm not sure if the Panthers are looking to get an offensive weapon, But like Chris said, if they decide to get Kyle Pitts on that team, they are surrounding Sam Darnold with all the weapons that they possibly could. So that'd be a great thing. But Darius, how do you feel about the Panthers getting Sam Darnold? Are they gonna be? Is it gonna be a success, or will Sam Darnold be seeing ghosts?
I think it's gonna be a success. I think Sam Darnold's in a situation where one, he's with a team that wants him. Obviously, the Panthers went out there and gave up some picks for him, so they want him. It's not going to be easy. They're going to make him compete just because of Teddy Bridgewater is on that roster when training camp comes. Sam Darnold is going to have to compete, and I think that's what he's going to need going into training camp, going up against a veteran guy who's proven himself in the league to be a pretty good quarterback, especially, in my opinion, a pretty good game manager quarterback. But he's in a position to really win. You give him Christian McCaffrey, right? You give him Robbie Anderson, who's a 1,000-yard receiver. DJ Moore, we know what he can do. Christian McCaffrey, when healthy, is arguably the best running back in the game. So you give him that, and then like Chris said, and I was crazy because I was thinking that today, they still have they have the 8th pick in the draft. So if Kyle Pitts falls and they draft him, you're looking at a potentially top 5 offense if Sam Darnold can ball out just with the weapons that they have. You got to remember, they have Christian McCaffrey. Avery, you're shaking your face. They have the potential. I didn't say they will. I said they have the potential just because Sam Darnold is not a bad quarterback. You got to look at what we had in New York, right? The offensive coordinator changed. The head coach with Adam Gates, he was banged up a little bit. So I think that you put him in a position where he's with a new head coach. He has the weapons. He can produce. And who I think won the trade, I know this is weird, but I think both teams won. The Jets are getting rid of somebody, and they're going to bring in a guy like Zach Wilson, who obviously everyone is saying potentially is better than Trevor Lawrence, which I've been hearing. But yeah, man, I definitely think it's a situation where Sam Darnold, he has what he needs to succeed. It's just a matter of going out there every game and just producing.
I know Avery got something to say.
I didn't say I said potential top 5. I didn't say number 1, potential.
Avery, I know you got something to say, but I want to say something before you do because I think this might add to the fuel real quick. I seen this thing online where the parallels between Miami Dolphins and the Jets are exactly the same, which is funny. They both fired Adam Gase. They both got rid of their number 1 quarterback. They both drafted a quarterback in the first round right after that. And it looked like Tennessee and the Panthers might have gone the same track too, because the Tennessee Titans, they surrounded Tannehill with a lot of weapons and they ran the ball. It might be the same thing with the Panthers now, where that Sam don't have to be the catalyst for the offense. They might have to run the ball. So Avery, with that being said, did you want to say something with Darius' point?
Yeah, just to Darius's point, they have the potential to be a top 5 offense. I really don't even because I'm a fan of Sam Darnold too. I think he's good. I think he's a serviceable quarterback. I think he's gotten a bad shake in the NFL thus far, and I hope that this change of scenery does him well. But potential to be top 5, I would say potential to be top 10. I don't see top 5 potential. The only reason is because they're not. And I'm just going to name a couple teams that honestly I don't think they'll be better than this season. Well, are they going to be better than the Packers offense? No, because Aaron Rodgers is still there. Are they going to be better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense? No, because Tom Brady is still there. Are they going to be better than the Chiefs offense? No, because Patrick Mahomes is ridiculous. Are they going to be better than the Falcons offense? I don't think so, because there's too many weapons. Are they going to be better than the Cardinals offense? I don't think so. Too many weapons.
That's why I said potential.
I'm at what, 6 now?
Potential.
I don't think they're going to be better than the Rams offense.
You also have to understand
be better than
McCaffrey. You got Christian McCaffrey, who's going to give you at least 50 yards receiving and rushing, at least. Let's say minimum, right? You add in let's say they draft Kyle Pitts, right?
That's so here's my issue with that. Even when Christian McCaffrey went off, when he had Cam Newton, they still weren't a top 5 offense in the NFL. So it's just like he was going
6,
off.
7? I said potential.
Again, but that's what Cam Newton.
But you don't know what Sam Darnold can do.
Go ahead, Darren.
It's a change of scenery. He has some weapons. He's in a place where he probably is like, all right, you know what? I can go out
I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you have it.
I'm just saying potential. I didn't say top. I would have said top 5. Then we could have argued. I said potential.
So I just want to add a little fuel to this as well.
He gonna say more.
No. DJ Moore is going to be, and he's already been quoted as possibly the next type Steve Smith. So that's a 1,000-yard receiver right there. Robbie Anderson, with his connection with Sam Darnold and his high deep speed ability, he could be a possible 1,000-yard receiver. Kyle Pitts is a nightmare matchup at tight end that you can also put in the slot. He's good for about 600 to 800 yards for you. You throw in Christian McCaffrey, 1,000-yard rushing, at least 500 to 600 yards receiving, and since the Panthers will have a nice second-round pick, Rondell Moore in the slot.
And they have an easy schedule.
Just saying.
I mean, like I said,
wrong on that one. I'm sorry.
I understand.
I'm sorry.
I understand the premise.
Capital potential.
I understand the premise, and I understand that you said potential. But I would say potential for top 10. Breaking the top 5 in offense is extremely hard in the NFL.
It is.
And so I just don't know if in your first season, even if you have all of these weapons around you, if you're going to be able to break the top 5 in offense. So because you got to remember, it's a new new system, new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new teammates, and all these different things. And then it's a new division as well. You don't know what it's like to play in the Atlanta Panthers rivalry. You don't know what it's like to play in the Saints Panthers rivalry. You don't know what it's like to play against Tom Brady consistently in that new rivalry. So it's.
I'm about to say he's played against them.
I said in that new rivalry. So that's why
he's used to it.
He used to Brady already.
My only point is I see top 10 potential easily. Maybe, I mean, if they get to the top 5, I won't be surprised. But I just don't see potential for it this season.
You know what was funny? Avery was listing off the 5 teams that will be over, Panthers offense, and when Avery said Tom Brady, Darius' face kind of lit up like, and then this is basically what he said.
That's exactly. I
took that personal. All right, so that was a great trade, and that was a big trade of this week, and but we want to know about more trades that are going to happen. So I want to know, what are some possible trades in this upcoming draft that could possibly happen? What teams should trade up, or what team should trade down? I'm going to start with Darius with this one. Where are you at? What team you think it will be the best trade up or trade down team of the upcoming draft?
I'm going to be I'm going to sound like Avery, but you heard the reports. The Atlanta Falcons, I mean, come on. They're receiving calls for that number 4 overall pick. I'm pretty sure one of those teams, the Denver Broncos, who have the number 9 overall pick. Atlanta, if they're smart, they would trade back, because you can get, for that pick, the number 4 pick, you can get a nice package for that pick, especially because there are teams outside of the top 5 that need quarterbacks, and they're willing to give up for that. We saw what it takes to get that pick, right? A first round this year, a first round next year, and you maybe throw in a 3rd round this year and a 4th round next year. So we see what it takes. And Atlanta's been taking calls. They've been taking calls. I wouldn't be surprised if another team like Cincinnati, potentially, they may be listening to calls. Every team outside of the Jets and the Jaguars, I would honestly, in the 49ers, I would have my phones open for trades, just because I know I can get a nice compensation package, especially for this year's draft and next year's draft, and I can set my team up, especially if the salary cap is going to go up. You know what I mean? So I definitely think the Atlanta Falcons are going to make a trade. It's just a matter of what team. And honestly, I can see Denver making that trade up, especially because if we start to see, obviously, Trevor Lawrence, he's going to be the first quarterback, right? And then we got Zach Wilson, who's going to be the second. If San Fran takes a quarterback at 3, you're going to see a team like Denver kind of get nervous and pull the trigger, just because they want their franchise guy if they don't believe that Drew Lock is their guy. And then you bring in a guy like a Trey Lance or a Mac Jones potentially to really challenge Drew Lock and make him fight to be the starting quarterback. So I definitely think they're going to trade down. And if Atlanta trades the 4th pick to Denver, I'm gonna be again a homer. I can see the Patriots trading out of the first round, or just trading back, just because that's something Bill Belichick likes to do, is trade back out of the first round just to get more draft picks, especially when, obviously the need is the quarterback. But I think, you can get a quarterback in the later rounds, but I definitely think they're going to trade back. But yeah, like I said, Atlanta, I know Avery, you're probably going to be happy when you see them trade that 4th overall pick, especially if you go down to the 9th spot and somebody that you really want is still potentially there. And now you got the 9th overall pick and future draft picks in this year's draft, another 2nd round or 3rd round. That's a win-win for the team. So yeah, I could definitely see Denver trading up.
Darius, I got a serious question for you. You ready?
I'm listening.
Are you a New England Patriots fan or are you a Denver Broncos fan?
I'm a Patriots. Listen, man.
Everything he said, you have to do with the Broncos.
I'm saying it again. They win in the West this year. If they get a quarterback, if they trade up, they win in the West. I said it here on this episode. If they get the quarterback that they want and they're building that defense, they're probably going to have a top 5 defense. Von Miller's coming back. Nick Chubb, Justin Simmons is re-signed. You got him. You'll get a quarterback if they get a quarterback. So I'm saying, they get their franchise quarterback, they can win the West.
They're not going to do anything now because you keep jinxing them every single year.
Don't do that.
Hey, listen.
Did you forget about Patrick Mahomes?
Hey, listen.
You must have
I'm
forgot
just
about Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert in there. But it's cool.
I'm just saying.
I might be inclined to agree with Darius just a little bit. Just a little bit.
They had their defense.
Y'all forgot about both of them? That's
all
cool.
they need is a quarterback. That's all they need. All they need is a franchise quarterback, and they can compete in that division. That's it.
So y'all forgot about Patrick Mahomes.
I'm not forgetting about Patrick Mahomes.
We're not.
I'm just saying.
Listen,
look at Denver's defense.
I was just about to say, if you get yourself a quarterback and you fix that situation, their defense is clearly better than
their defense is going to keep their defense keeps them in games no matter what. You watch every game they played last season, their defense kept them in games. It was just a quarterback play. You get a quarterback,
and Cortland Sutton's coming back.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm not going to go that far and say that it's going to happen, but I would. I could see it potentially happen.
It's not gonna happen because he jinxed it. Anyway, Avery, what's your take? What do you think about your Atlanta Falcons going down? Do you think there's another team that could be a better trade down partner or trade up partner?
3 teams that I think that could trade. 2 that could trade down. 1 that could trade up. I think obviously Darius hit the nail on the head. I think the Falcons could trade down. I saw Chris say that we need to draft Trey Lance. Listen. I like Trey Lance. I like Justin Fields. I like Zach Wilson. I like Trevor Lawrence. I like all of those top 4 quarterbacks. I like them all. I don't like any of them more than I like Matt Ryan right now. Matt Ryan is proven in the NFL. That's my issue when it comes to this draft right now. Matt Ryan is not the issue, right? And if we're going to get a quarterback to sit behind Matt Ryan after he just got extended 2 more years, to me, it's just like, why not wait until next year? There's always a quarterback that's coming up every single draft. This is the next great quarterback. Oh, this is the next great every single year, right? So that's why I think the Falcons should trade out. In addition, look, Colin Cowherd said something that was really, really interesting to me. Since Kyle Shanahan has left the Falcons, in the last 5 years, Matt Ryan has led the league in passing yards, passing completions, and passing attempts. So for the last 5 years, Matt Ryan is number 1. He is not the issue. We can't run the football. We can't stop people from scoring, but Matt Ryan's the issue. We need to draft a quarterback. Matt Ryan is 35 years old. Tom Brady's 43. Clearly, he's showing that you can play extended years at that position when you're protected and when you have the right pieces around you. So Matt Ryan, to me, is not the issue. I don't think that we need a quarterback this year. I think we need to trade down and stockpile some picks, maybe trade down that 9th spot like Darius said, and hopefully Kyle Pitts falls to us. Then you can't stop that offense at all. Number 2, the Cincinnati Bengals. I think that the reason they could trade down is because they have so many pieces that are in place that are correct right now. You got your quarterback, right? I think everybody knows they got their running back in Joe Mixon. He's phenomenal. I think with their receivers and T. Higgins and
Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd, thank you. They no longer have AJ Green. He's in Arizona, but you look at what they're doing on offense right now. I think they have enough. But more importantly, because this draft is deep at receiver, I think if you wanted to go another receiver, you could, and later in the draft, or continue to build around Joe Burrow. So I think potentially if they don't trade out, I think the Bengals might be the team to take Sewell. I think he might be the guy that they go after there if they don't trade back. Like I said, on defense, you just picked up a veteran in Ricardo Allen. So on the back end, you know that you've got some IQ there, different things like that. So I think they have enough pieces to trade down. And then the team I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, did you say SeaWorld or Sewell?
Sewell.
Sewell?
Yeah.
Sewell or SeaWorld?
Sewell. Sewell, whatever. I'm pronouncing it how I see it. So, but a team that I could see trading up is the Baltimore Ravens. Here's why. Though, yes, they did get Sammy Watkins. I still think they need some depth at receiver. I still think they need somebody who's going to be dynamic. And I could see them trading up to go after one of those dynamic receivers in Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith or something like that. I could see them making a trade because the Baltimore Ravens are built to win now. Their offensive line is intact. They're one of the best in the league. Their running game is intact. It's probably the best in the league. Maybe the only team that can say otherwise is potentially the Titans. They've got a great quarterback in Lamar who can run, throw, and do everything. Their defense is phenomenal, right? They've got phenomenal corners. So for me, I think they could trade up and potentially go after that dynamic receiver, and then we can actually see what's going on. Tight end is locked down, running backs locked down, quarterbacks locked down, corners locked down. The defensive line is pretty much locked down. Obviously, there's some slight holes on in the pass rush area, but this isn't a deep class of pass rushers, so you don't got to worry about that this year. So I think that they could potentially trade up and go after a dynamic receiver, and we've seen how that works out for teams. The Falcons, my team, when they traded up to get Julio, and how that worked out for them, and different things like that. So, I could see the Baltimore Ravens trading up to go after a receiver that they feel is somebody that's going to change their franchise.
Darren's face tells it all.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Darren wants to talk about that. Before Darren gets to his point, I want to jump back on the Falcons point. I do agree with both of y'all that the Falcons are definitely probably one of the trade down partners. So you got to think that they need a lot of defensive players, and they could probably take a page out of the Panthers draft last year and go all defense if they wanted to. And I don't think that would be a bad decision because they need a lot of help.
Offensively,
this draft is going to be very heavy offensively in the top of the draft. If you trade down, you can still probably get the best defensive player. If you trade down even to between 8 to 15, honestly, you still get a really good defensive player that can help that team out and get more access for them. So I understand that. And the thing about the Bengals, I think they will be dumb not to pick the best player in the NFL draft, Penny SeaWorld.
Wow. That's hilarious. I forgot also the Panthers did pick up AJ Bouye. So
yes.
Another thing. So I think, I agree with that point where it's like trade down, bolster your defense up. You just lost Ricardo Allen, you just lost Keanu O'Neal, you lost so many different pieces on the back end of your defense. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. But that's, like I said, I think that they're in prime position without question to go ahead and trade back.
All right. Darren, you're up next, man. You talked about your Ravens trading up. How do you feel about that situation, man?
Stop taking my hot takes and all of that. It's not even funny no more. It's not even funny. Like everything you wanted to say, I was going to say. But the only difference is the only reason we would trade up is if Devonta Smith or somehow somehow Jamar Chase makes it past 10. That's why I said somehow. I highly doubt that's going to happen. But if Smith drops past 10, we better be on a call right now to the Giants saying, hey, listen, what do you want so we can take Smith? Period. What do you want? What do you want?
A first this year, the first next year.
And I just want to point out to Chris's comment. He was talking about, the GM wants to be attached to a quarterback. Why not be attached to an MVP quarterback? Why not be attached to a quarterback that is going to a Super Bowl? And also, Arthur, why create issues within that dynamic when Matt Ryan is not the problem?
No. See, this is how I see it.
This is the problem.
Listen, I don't mind Bateman, but if Smith is there and we having a chance to get him, give me a Smith, Watkins, and Brown lineup with Mark Andrews in the middle. That would be dangerous. And you got Lamar in that dangerous running game. Come on, people. I don't even understand why we even talking about this.
That's a top 5. Now that's a top 5 offense.
Like, come on. What are we looking at here? What are we talking about? But my trade down actually is a little bit surprising, but it will make sense in a second. The Panthers. If the Panthers feel very comfortable with what they can have in Darnold, they are fine with keeping Teddy Bridgewater for a year as a true backup. Let them take and go down, get an offensive lineman, and get more talent to surround that position. And as Avery already said, there's always another guy next year. There's always another guy that next year. They can wait until next year to do that. They've built their defense. Now let's build that offense up. Give them a nice line to have good protection. And let's see what we have in Sam Darnold. Can we really build around this man? Can he really be the franchise guy for us? They trade down, get an additional first rounder, additional second rounder. This draft class is loaded with offensive linemen, and it will be definitely imperative for them to grab one of the better ones. They can get that if what everyone's predicting happens. There's a run on top quarterbacks in the first 4 to 5 picks. After that, from number 5 to at least number 10, you are getting a bunch of blue chip players, people. And that's why I say, one, Baltimore has to trade up if Smith drops past 10, and Panthers can possibly go back some. They don't have to drop a lot. Still between that 10 to 15 range, but it would not hurt.
So
I agree. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. And Jerome is kind of frozen on it, so
yeah, he's frozen.
He's trying to talk through it. But listen, yeah, I like that because, like you said, they built their defense. Their offense. It's like he's going in and out. All right, so
it's going in and out.
Yeah, they've built their defense, the offense, like you said. Offensive line is always something that you can always build and bolster up. I actually had a hot take before that I said, imagine if the Panthers took Najee Harris, putting him in the backfield with Christian McCaffrey. Now you've got Sam Darnold. Now you've got Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. That would be
that's a top 5 offense.
No, that right there.
That's a top 5 offense.
Easily.
And then just based off the running game. That's it.
That's cheating.
That's a top 5 offense.
Cheating.
I'm just saying, I could see. Listen, I would
if he falls, why not?
I would be more afraid of them taking. I would be more afraid of them taking Najee Harris than Kyle Pitts. To be honest,
think about it for a second, right? What team really needs a running back in the first round outside of the Jets? Because the Jets have 2 first-round picks.
There's
that would take a running back that would really.
Now that's the question. I was gonna say that's the question because there's
the Dolphins
that need running backs, but
the Dolphins, but they would have to get Jamar Chase first.
Say it again.
Jamar Chase first, but the Dolphins with Najee Harris at number 18 for them, that would be crazy.
Yeah,
that would be a perfect. That would be crazy. That would be a perfect steal.
Yes, sir. I would love to see that.
Right, actually, Chris. You're very right. That's probably what's going to happen. We're going to hope that Bateman drops to the second round.
And let's keep it a beam. Let's keep it a beam. The Steelers need a running back. Like I love James Conner, but
that's true.
They could use a running back.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Definitely.
But they're going to need an offensive left tackle more than anything else.
All right, guys. I think I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
He's back, y'all.
So what I was trying to say is I agree with Darren that the Panthers could trade down and get more assets. But they gotta sit tight for a second because they're at 8. And like you said, there could possibly be some quarterbacks like sneak up in there. There might possibly be a 5th one, depending on how desperate teams get. A 5th one might sneak up in there. If that happens, and then you got to think about, one of the receivers or maybe 2 go there, you might get Penny C World. Let's go. Let's go.
He was waiting for that one, Avery. You messed up. This is it. This is your 350 right here. Penny SeaWorld.
No, because I never said SeaWorld. You actually said 350. I said SeaWorld. You actually said 350.
You said 350 with confidence.
Hey, with my chest every time, baby. 350, baby.
I don't even think he had 250 that game.
No, he had like 225. He had 225. I mean, it was a smooth 225 though. Easy money.
But oh man, I'm just messing with you. But let's get to our last topic real quick before we get off of here. And that's basically what moves can somebody or a team do to become an instant contender this year? So that one move, that one maybe draft pick or maybe a free agent or whatever, or a trade that can send that next team to the top to be a contender this year. I'm gonna start with Avery on this one. Who do you think could be a contender in the NFC if they make this move?
All right, so I think there's a couple teams that could be contenders here. All right, so I'm going to start with the Cardinals. Right, I think they can be contenders if and only if they continue, one, to build their offensive line, but 2, they get a dynamic running back, right? And so I think that's the biggest hole on their team right now. I think with what they have on offense at receiver and tight end and quarterback is fine. I think they need to continue to protect Kyler Murray. Obviously, we know he can move, but no quarterback wants to constantly do that, right? But I think they can get a dynamic running back that can threaten teams. That's going to open the offensive up to a level that I don't think anybody is really prepared for. Defensively, they're still solid. Obviously, adding in J.J. Watt is going to be, like I said, that's going to make a difference. So I think the Cardinals getting a running back, they can be contenders. The Seahawks, Rams, and 49ers, I believe, are contenders. The 49ers, just too many injuries last year. I still think they're actually Super Bowl contenders in the NFC. Another team that I think can be contenders, the Vikings. If they get rid of Kirk Cousins, I'm sorry. Like, I understand that he spreads the ball around, he does all this, but he's not getting it done, right? He's just not getting it done in the division as well as the conference. I think that the Vikings are in prime position to win. You've got Dalvin Cook, you've got a lot of weapons on offense. You've got a defense that's still very, very solid. I think the Vikings can be contenders if they get rid of their quarterback. Same thing with the Bears. I think if the Bears can finally get a quarterback, they're contenders. Their defense is phenomenal. We've seen that, right? Their defense kept them in games all year. I think the Bears, and them going 8-8 was gracious, right? I think they could have been a 10-11 win team last year if they had a quarterback that was serviceable. The Packers are already contenders. You can't include them. They're already contenders. They were a game away from the Super Bowl. And then last but not least, I think obviously I'm going to be Homer here. I wanted to say the Panthers, but again, because I'm not sure how Sam Darnold is going to play out in his first year with the new coordinator, new teammates. Not sure. The Saints losing Drew Brees is going to hurt them. Point blank period. That's going to hurt. I think there's going to be a little bit of a transition there. But the Falcons, like I said, if they can get their offensive line together and stop somebody on defense, if they can make not just their offensive line, but their running game, if they can really on defense, if they can stop people from passing on them, because that was the issue. When Raheem Morris took over, a lot of people don't know it. So those last 6 games, the Falcons were actually, I believe, the number 6 rushing defense in the NFL. Teams weren't able to run on us, but they throw wherever they wanted to, right? And so I think if you can get some people on the back end to replace, Ricardo Allen, Keanu Neal, DeMonte Casey, who is also, out of there. We got Jalen Hawkins, but Got to see what he's going to be able to do. And so, like I said, if they make a move to get some type of veteran corner or some type of dominant, safety back there, I think that they can be contenders as well. Because honestly, in that division, like I said, it's all about winning your division, right? And because the Saints and the Panthers, I'm shaky on. That means we just got to beat the Buccaneers out for the division. So I think that they can be contenders. And I wanted to just a sneaky team. The Washington football team, man, they've got some pieces. Their defense is solid. Their running game is coming together. They've got weapons on offense now. Listen, if they can get the quarterback and the offensive line situation together, we saw that they made it to the playoffs, and they gave the Buccaneers everything they could handle. So I think that the Washington football team could be contenders if they continue the trajectory that they're on right now. So, yeah, but.
Well, Avery just named every NFC team, so
sorry.
Sorry. Good job, Avery.
He just does this every time. It's cool.
You gotta. That's why the order is like he gives you guys the first two topics because he knows, if I let him go first on the last one.
Let you go in your last, all the time. Duran, who you think in the NFC who could be contenders?
All right, I got 3 for you. I'll make mine real simple. I'm not doing all of them. My first one would be easily I honestly agree with Chris. Give the 49ers Justin Fields. Shoot, I'll even take Mac Jones there over what we have right now with Jimmy G for the 49ers. Easily a contender. Their defense was hurt all last year. Returning guys. The same way the Bucs got better just by having everyone stay, the 49ers defense would be better just from having everyone come back. And then with the weapons that they have on offense with Debo and Brandon Ayuk, that is a nasty little tandem. And you still have George Kittle. Let him get fully healthy. They already have who did they sign? Oh, Trent Williams, that left tackle still. Mike McClinchy on the right side. That team is set good. And you already know that the running backs are going to do well with that Kyle Shanahan offense. It's just too simple. So they're really a quarterback away, and Jimmy G is not it. Let's just be honest, people.
We say that, but he got him to a Super Bowl. Like,
no.
He got him there.
That running game got him there. Let's be honest. That running game and that defense. That's what happened. That's really what happened. All right. Second, I'm actually going to go off of what you said already. Mac Jones to Washington.
Let me respond to that at some point.
I got you. I'll let you go after this. Mac Jones to Washington, and I think they can be a contender. The defensive front, along with the way that they play on that back end for Washington, is amazing. It is amazing. Chase Young is an animal. Then you have Curtis Samuels and Scary Terry now. And if they can get a late round tight end that gives some type of reduction, along with Antonio Gibson in the backfield, I like. Logan Thomas is okay, but they need a second guy if they're going to do that. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. But a Mac Jones for Washington easily could be a contender inside of the NFC East. Easily. We already said it's about winning your division. They can do that with that. That's set up right there. And last but not least, I'm just going to say this. I know this might not happen, but if this miraculously happened, I would not be surprised. Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston gets traded for Russell Wilson. Think about it.
Rewind
We need a
that.
drug test immediately. Immediately.
Gets traded for Russell Wilson. The money will work out, and the Seahawks, if they are really tired of Russell Wilson, with all the trade rumors going on and everything like that, before you give Sean Payton a guy like Russell Wilson, he was already the same height as Drew Brees. With that Saints offense, they automatically become contenders again in that division, let alone in the NFC. Just saying.
I understand.
I know that one's probably not going to happen. I would love to see it, but it might not. It's probably not going to happen.
I understand the premise though, because Jerome's question was what teams can make a move that makes them contenders. So I understand why you would say that, but you're definitely right. It's not going to happen. I just
like I said, it's not going to happen. But it would be crazy if it did, and the money would work out with the way that Taysom Hill's contract is set up, along with the re-signing of Jameis Winston in that contract.
Yeah, I just want to comment on Chris's comment. About about the Vikings and everything like that. So he talked about the Vikings having a terrible defense and a terrible offensive line. Now I will give you the terrible defense without question. That they were horrible. I think they were like in the bottom 20 in the league.
Especially for Mike Zimmerman to have a terrible defense,
right? So
really rare.
I will give you that. I'm not giving you terrible offensive line because Dalvin Cook was second in the league in rushing yards. Name the Falcon that had over 1,000 yards this year. Rushing. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Matt Ryan.
Right. On top of the fact that Matt Ryan was, I think, in the top 5 most sacked quarterbacks this year. We're not about to do this. Matt Ryan is not the issue. Kirk Cousins he's not playing well. Matt Ryan is the reason that they're in games. Kirk is not. Dalvin is. There's a difference. So, yes, I would get rid of Kirk before Matt Ryan. That's all I got to say.
All right, Darius, what's your take?
One team that I thought one of you guys were going to say, and I think it's kind of shocked that I didn't, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say Dallas, and I'm gonna tell you why. Dallas is a team that they're getting Dak back. Their offensive line is getting healthy.
No.
The biggest question really with Dallas was on the defensive side of the ball. If they can draft Patrick, one of the top corners, you pair him up with Trayvon Diggs, you take the pressure off Diggs, and you draft the top corner in this year's draft, and he shadows the number 1 receiver, and that takes pressure off Trayvon Diggs, Dallas defense can look totally different. I think that's the biggest move that they need because offensively they're set. They're getting an offensive line back. They're getting healthy. You still have Zeke. Dak is coming back, and we saw what Dak did the first 5 weeks. We saw what Dak was able to do in that offense his first 5 weeks before the injury. So Dallas, I think, is one.
They should have never let go of Byron Jones. Stupid.
Yeah, they should. Imagine. Woo. They're one kind of pick away, especially because the NFC East is still a division where there's really no clear favorite. Like it's looking like Washington, but you never know. With that coming back, Dallas could be. We don't know what's going on with the Eagles. The Giants. We don't know what's going on with them. So that's a division where Dallas really can take that for grasp if they draft the correct way, and I believe that they are. Another team, I'm gonna agree, man. I'm gonna agree with you, Avery. I think the Vikings. I think you get rid of Kirk Cousins, and you see a totally different team. The reason why their defense was so bad because they were on the field because the Vikings were either turning the ball over or it was 3 and out. So you put your defense on the field just when they get off, you're going to see them struggle. But if you get rid of Kirk Cousins, you get a quarterback that can actually be a quarterback with that running game and that offensive line and the weapons that they have. Come on, man. That's a team that potentially can win that division. Especially, again, that's another division where it's like, okay, this is Green Bay's division, but you still got Chicago. You still got, Minnesota. We don't really know what's going on with Detroit, but, they still possibly can be a threat.
We're gonna make that happen, Chris. We're going to make that happen.
And then the last team I'm going to say, man, Avery, you're going to be happy. I think the Falcons. And I think it's just because the simple fact is if they trade back and they stockpile their picks and they build that offense and they protect Matt Ryan, or if they can get a running back, or if they just build that defense up, and you look at the division, it's really only Tampa Bay. It's really only Tom Brady. That's really it. So that division is really up for grabs just because Matt Ryan isn't a problem. He's going to keep you in games. It's just a matter of can you run the ball, can you control the time of possession, and can your defense get stops? So I definitely think if those 3 teams make they're one draft pick away from actually being a playoff team, a title, a Super Bowl favorite, in my opinion.
I don't have an issue with the Falcons taking a quarterback at 4. I think let me make that clear. I don't have an issue with them taking a quarterback at 4. Okay. My point is they don't need a quarterback at 4. My point is you can get more by trading back because you're still in position to win right now, right? You've got an offense that people fear. Point blank and period. You've got an offense that can put up points. Through the first 4 games, you had over 100 points on offense. You were leading the league behind Dallas. Excuse me, actually, behind Dallas, you were number 2. You were the number 2 offense in the league through the first 4 games. Like, people still fear that offense. When the Raiders came to town, John Gruden said, "This is the most dangerous 0-5 team I've ever seen in my life." People still fear that offense. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that we have enough to trade back and make ourselves contenders right now. We don't need a quarterback. If we take one, I understand. I won't be upset. I would just be more happy if we trade back and do the right thing. And he's right about the Giants. Giants look scary. They made some moves. I told y'all they made some moves. You better watch out for them.
Oh, yeah, the Giants, yeah.
I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to hear any of that.
The Giants, the Cowboys, and the Washington football team, not the Eagles. Those are the teams that can be contenders.
Listen, I already know.
Don't sleep on Jalen Hurts. Don't sleep on Jalen Hurts. All that dude is all he does is win. He won at Alabama. He won at Oklahoma. All he does is win.
He know how to win.
That's a winner.
Well, we'll see, and hopefully, I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I'm trying to be hopeful. It's really hard for me to be hopeful as an Eagles fan. But we'll definitely talk about the AFC next week. But, guys, thank y'all so much for checking us out on the Air It Out podcast. We always love having you guys in here. Special shout-out to Chris. He was great on the comments, bringing that fire, that flame. We love it. So keep it coming each week. We are here every week, 6 o'clock on Thursday. So check us out. We'll be here throughout the whole offseason and the regular season, obviously. 24/7 football, man. This is what we do. We love this, and we love for you guys to come in and check us out. So with that being said, check us out on all our social media, on our website, InsideTheHashes.com. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, even Google Podcasts, where we talk to a lot of these players that we talk about in these drafts that, you know, are getting drafted, and talk about their stories and things like that. So if you love talking about or listening to players and what their background is before they even get to the draft, check us out, InsideTheHashes.com. We got all that on there as well as other great football content. So while the offseason is going and you're bored and you can't get your football fix, go to InsideTheHashes.com where you can get all that and find all that as well. So, guys, we love to thank you guys for coming in. We really do appreciate that, especially if you're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe, man. Like and subscribe. Bring that in there. You know, check us out. We got a whole bunch of different content in there, different videos that we love to share with you guys, and for you to, you know, get over the football blues, man, because we all in football blues now until the draft comes, and then there's a whole off season. So we definitely want you guys to get in there. So, Avery, you got something to say? Something?
You know why we have the blues so much? I realized what it was.
What is it, sir?
There's no combine, y'all. There's no NFL. That's the one thing that kind of kept us at least a little bit. There's no combine, man.
I'd be fine with the Eagles getting J.C. Horn as well, you know, but that's not. It's still not gonna solve a lot of our problems. But that'd be great to have him, man. But we can talk about that in a different time. But again, guys, check us out next week. We definitely excited to have this draft coming up soon. We will have a Air It Out mock draft the last week of the same day as the draft. Actually. So we'll have a mock draft on that day. So everybody come in here, make sure you check us out in 2 weeks. We have our regular podcast going on the next 2 weeks after this week as well. So check that out before we do our mock draft. And, you know, come in, comment, and let us know what we think about how these guys are going to be drafting. So I got my man Darren Braxton right here. We got Derek Riddick, and we got Avery Collins. I would like to end it off with a little thing right here. No regrets. Derek. Thank you, guys. See y'all later.